It's common sense that we can learn a lot while doing things, especially in ministry. But most ministry training programs don't take advantage of this reality. In the Antioch School, we try to make it a priority. In this video, I'm going to briefly explain to you some of the matters of academic legitimacy for this area of learning we call practicum. And I'll be honest with you, this is my area of academic geekdom, so I get into this a little bit more than others. If you're really interested in this, we have a whole section on it in our manual, but I want to just overview a few of those things for you in this video. First of all, experiential learning is based in the theoretical work of David Kolb in his book Experiential Learning. He presents a model of experiential learning that includes concrete experience, reflective observation, abstract conceptualization, and active experimentation. And those are not just 4 steps, but they are 4 stages in an ongoing cycle of experiential learning. And in his book, he does a fantastic job of explaining how over time those kinds of experiences can actually lead to the development of maturity in various areas. It's a fantastic theoretical base. There are a few other resources that we've drawn on. One of them is the work edited by Barbara Jacoby, who is probably the leading author on the subject that we call service learning, which is learning by doing in real situations. Service learning for Jacoby means accomplishing academic objectives through service activities and doing them in a way that's mutually beneficial. It's not just for the student, it's not just for the one receiving the service, they both mutually benefit. But in Jacoby's most seminal work, every chapter focuses on the essential role of reflection. It's not just experience that helps for the learning, but it is the careful, methodical reflection on the experience where the learning is really captured. The third resource I'd like to introduce to you is one that is a particular favorite of mine by Jean Lave and Etienne Wegner called Situated Learning. This book introduces a couple of really important concepts, such as the concept of legitimate peripheral participation. That even if you're not fully engaged, you can be engaged around a ministry activity in a way that helps you to learn. Another important concept that they introduce is called the zone of proximal development, which is figuring out where on that periphery you ought to go, where you ought to be in order to optimize your learning experience. And it's a fascinating study of how to learn through experience in real situations. Which brings us to the last resource I want to mention, and that is my own dissertation, something that probably no one has ever actually read. But it's got some good stuff in it. Essentially what I did was I studied the independent study print courses and the online courses of several seminaries. All of them advertised, study where you are. But what I discovered is they didn't really pay much attention to where the student was. In fact, it was virtually irrelevant. Even in the experiential learning activities that were used by these courses, there was virtual disregard for the students' real-life, God-given learning community. In fact, sometimes it even said, imagine if you were in a church situation. How would you go about doing this? They were in a church situation. Why not have them engaging in it? That's what we try to do with the Antioch School. Instead of just serving students who are in churches, we want the church to be the vital context and an integral part of the learning experience. Practicums are one of the key ways that we do that.